Hello and welcome back to my channel. Are you wondering how to start your software development career journey in South Africa? Whether you are from a different country, whether you are self-taught or considering a bootcamp, this video is precisely for you. Let's dive deep into the most practical ways of transitioning into this exciting industry, especially given the challenges that we face here in Mozambique. But before we do that, let us speak firstly about the South African landscape. We know that most of the companies are still big in terms of formal education, be it a degree or national diploma, or but some sort of a qualification in terms of computer science and also BCom, whereby people are exposed to information systems. So that's the preferred and way that is currently popular in South Africa. Now, but that shouldn't deter you or discourage you as a self-taught developer, because what they're looking for is just the passion and some sort of a proof to show that indeed you are capable of doing these things. So that's why I'm very big on portfolio, creating a portfolio and creating real world projects for yourself as a self-taught developer. Now we'll speak about the self-taught, vanilla self-taught developer route, and we'll also speak about the bootcamp, the good bootcamp route. So, and then after that, then we'll speak about how you can use both approaches, basically a hybrid approach into this. Now, let's start with the vanilla self-taught developers and what needs to be done from their side in order for them to embark on this journey. Now, this is the most affordable and flexible way to get started, especially if you don't have access to university or boot camps. I mean, the finances for that, because some boot camps are not free, whereas others are free and they offer you stipends. But let's start with self-taught developers. So you might be working, you might be having a job where you don't have enough time to actually leave everything to quit your job and go for a boot camp. So what you need to do is to allocate some time after hours, and then start looking at particular things, particular websites, particular tutorials in order for you to to embark on this journey. So this is, it works differently for different people, and I believe that for those who even if you're unemployed, you can start off from there's like sites, platforms like your free code camp, code candy meme, and YouTube. Those are the gold mines for beginners. So most of the people go there and they actually start their journey. They can see, they test whether they're capable of doing these things or not, if this thing is for them or not. And in most cases, most of them, they fall in love with this. And I've realized that it's when it comes to these things, or let me say in software development, there's different sections or categories. There's your front-end developers. So front-end developers are the ones who mostly work on the interfaces, or I'll give an example with a website or a web application, and then that web application has buttons, and it's some images, and it's decorated in a particular, designed in a particular way. So the front-end developers are mostly concerned about that and how they can make calls to the back-end system. So that's what they do on a daily basis, and they mostly use frameworks and things like your HTML, things like your JavaScript, things like your CSS, and things like your Angular, things like your React JS, etc. So those are the most popular frameworks that are being used, especially here in South Africa. If you find yourself having one of those, having learned a combination of those, then you are in a much better and more advantageous position than others who don't even have this kind of background. And then we also have the back end, which is where I see people struggling, especially if they don't have mathematics background, especially if they they don't have any form of coding background. So this is where I see them, most of them struggling. So the guy I started with, I supported in terms of transitioning. We started with the back end because he said he really wants deep and serious things. He doesn't want to start with the simple stuff. I said, okay, fine. I thought we'll start with HTML, and then so that you can have some confidence, because HTML is not a programming language, it's just a markup. So we said, no, we'll start with that one. But he said, no, I need serious stuff. So we started with data structures and algorithms. And yes, yeah, he struggled big time. And yeah, so I think it would have been best if you started with HTML, and then after HTML, then you would want to go for HTML and CSS, and then after that you would want to go for JavaScript, and then once you have the feel for JavaScript, then I think that's when you can now transition into the backend stuff, and in that way, I think your way of you would have realized that you need to think in a logical manner. Now, for software developers, they can, after going through these free code camps, or these platforms like Free Code Camp, Code Academy, YouTube, because you are going at your own pace, I would say that choose HTML first, just to gain the confidence, and then once you're done with CSS, go to, rather HTML, go to CSS. And then once you are done with CSS, go to JavaScript. And then once you are done with JavaScript, then go to Python, go to Java, go to C#. In that order. So it's important to know where to start, because if you start at the wrong place, it might discourage you, and you might not want to do this ever again in your life. And then which is kind of sad, because the issue would be the approach. Now, the second step would be to build, once you know the basics, let's say you know HTML, build a portfolio for HTML. And then once you are done with the combination of HTML and CSS, then make it nice, make it look pretty. Then once you're done with that, then go to the JavaScript side, and then that's when you will learn how to use JavaScript in order for you to make that web application work. So come up with an idea, start small. Don't build something that is out of the world, but do real world projects that will actually encourage you. You have an idea, try it out and see how it comes up. And then the next thing I would say, that you need to join some communities. You need to network. I don't want to say connection, because when you say connection, it sounds like you are doing something that is corrupt. But no, network. Start by networking. So there's communities like your ZS Text, Slack, and there's communities out there, and the ones that I attended were mostly in Cape Town. But there's a lot of meetup groups that you can find, and I think I'll do a video specifically on that. Let me know if you want to know more information about that in the comment section, and then I will definitely do that. Now, the other question that I need to address, or the other section that we need to address, is the bootcamp. Now, what is a bootcamp? These are short, intense programs designed to get you job ready quickly. So they fast track you. So it's not like the typical way of learning whereby you're relaxed. It's super fast, it's super quick. You have to adapt so fast, and it's very, very intense. So what are the advantages? The advantages is that it's structured. So it's a very structured learning, and then it has mentors, and then it has, they give you industry projects. And then number two, they often have ties to companies, meaning that they have partner companies that they work with. So once you're done, you're sort of guaranteed, not guaranteed, but you are in a better position to work for a particular company, whereby you get exposed, and they give you more learning, and they give you more information about about this industry. So whereby you're exposed to the real world. And trust me, these bootcamps do work. for some people, but so to some people they do not work. So what I'm saying is that maybe you might consider trying the first way, and combining the first way, which is the vanilla self-taught way, combine it with the bootcamp, and then I think that will give you a base for the bootcamp. When the bootcamp comes, it finds you solid, and you will be able to navigate through and get your way out. It's not just about writing code. There's a lot of dynamics involved, and there's a lot of things that you need to understand and learn as a software developer. So boot camps, yes, they are boot camps that are legit, and the good part is that they give you a stipend as well. So some give them stipend like 3,000, some are 5,000. There's boot camps that I know personally, like the famous one in South Africa right now is your within code, but I think it's a separate video that I will do. Let me know if you want to know. I'll give you a list of the boot camps that I know, and I know the people, and I worked with them, and I work with them still today, so that have went through that route. And yeah, so I'll do a separate video on that. But yeah, there's your within code, hyper and dev, and there's quite a lot, and there's capacity as well, which is no longer famous. I don't know why it's no longer famous, because they were one of the people that actually introduced this concept here in South Africa of boot camps. So yeah, so those are the routes that you can opt for. And yeah, so if you are somebody who needs somebody to hold your hand, you need a mentor, you need somebody to support you, you need a structure. Yeah, so boot camps will be for you, but you must know that it's very intense. It's highly intense, and then you must be willing to sacrifice. You must be willing to spend sleepless nights. But overall, it's so worth it. It's worth it. That's what I'll say. So yeah, so those are my thoughts, and I can't say everything in this video, otherwise it will be 20 minutes, which I'm avoiding. Otherwise, so what's your plan? Are you going self-taught route, bootcamp, or a mix of both? Let me know in the comments section below. If this video helped you, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more tips on software development in South Africa. And I've done just an hour or so, just over an hour, HTML course. So I'm going to upload it, and so for those who want to, have that base first before they go for the bootcamp. Otherwise, until we meet next time, happy coding.